Right, guys, we are joined by the one and only Mateusz Kieliszkowski. It's great to chat to you again. Obviously, you have a very busy year coming up. How are you feeling?
Hey. Hello, everyone. I'm good. I'm feeling good. Now I'm preparing to Arnold and also Arnold to UK. And my goal also is compete at Europe's Strongest Man, Giants Life. So
Really?
three competition, really short time. A lot of different events, and it's hard to connect everything in my training now, but we'll see.
I've asked everyone kind of this that's doing the Arnolds. Do you kind of pick one competition over the other, or are you focused on all three?
I try focus about three.
So you want to win everything this year?
But I want to try be the best at every.
I love that about you. It's just when we think back about just looking at your career, you are so good at some events, and sometimes a strongman, especially I was a competitive strongman. You don't get that impressed by other people's performances unless it's something special. And you're one of these guys that manages to do something special all the time. Even I know talking to you don't feel you've been back to your best yet. But watching you at the Arnolds last year, watching you at the Rogue Invitational, you're still doing some very, very special things. Do you feel you're starting to really get back to your best now? Do you feeling confident for these competitions coming forward?
I think it's not same like past, like 4 years ago, 2019, 20. I was the strongest in my life, and I think maybe now I'm 80% from that time.
What percent were you at the Arnolds last year and then Rogue last
year?
Last
year I was really weak because I had problem my knees, because I hurt my knees in this stone throw, both knees totally. And after Arnold and compete World Strongest Man was totally drama. And straight I go to fix my knees and do surgery, and I couldn't prepare a lot. Because pain stopped me all time. I take painkillers, injections, everything. We try block nerves with my doctors, but it wasn't work. So my preparation last year was horrible.
Yeah, I know. For the Worlds, it was probably the worst we've ever seen you. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen you that bad. But the Arnolds you were second at, and then Rogue at the end of the year you were very good as well. I think you placed third at Rogue.
Yeah, third.
So just for myself, what percentage was Mateusz at Rogue? What, if we say Arnold's a few years back was you at your best, where do you think you were then? Because I want to know what 80% is now compared to that. Are we getting back closer to that 100%?
Not yet, but now also not yet. But I think I need maybe half year.
Okay.
Still half year to prepare. Half year without some problems.
Sure.
I'm guessing now the biggest rival for me is my mind, because after such a lot of injuries, sometimes I think when I lifting something really heavy, I feel like a keep bump and in my hand. You understand? And in one moment, it can
really do understand. Yeah,
it can be explode. Athletes who never had some injury, it will never understand this. But if you get one time, second, and a lot of, then you're scared. It's much harder. You fight not not only with weight, with heavy lifting, also with your brain, with your mind.
Let's talk about this, because I think this is a great thing for people watching. Because I'm old and past it, but I have suffered injuries, so I kind of understand that mental side of how hard it is to come back from an injury. But it's also inspiring to people watching, because if you do strongman, there's a high chance you're going to get injured. It's a dangerous sport. Obviously, for someone at your level where you're doing these extreme things, that danger becomes so much higher. But what advice would you give to people that have been injured in the past? Because it like you say, it's not even the physical side. You recover and you get stronger. But for me, when I had some of these bad injuries, when I did that event again, there was like this voice in my head telling me I'm going to hurt myself again, which is really hard to overcome.
For me, so for example, after surgery, recovery time, so first many trainings, it's hard. But if I prepare all time and repeat, my mind is more confident, and then
Absolutely.
it must be slowly process. You can't rush. You just need time, because sometimes you can take some supplements who give you faster, quicker recovery, but you need doing like natural.
You think some people try and rush their recovery too much?
Yes, sometimes people, I had same situation, straight after surgery, I started rehabilitation, and after 2-3 months go to heavyweights and had another problems,
I was talking to a surgeon about this, and they said it actually takes probably 2 years to recover fully from a bad injury. And you think sometimes we see people, they're back lifting after 3 months, and the muscles are kind of back together, but they're not yet as strong as they were beforehand. It's very dangerous. So I totally agree. It's important to take your time. The good thing with you've had like a good year last year where you got to compete, and now you can start rebuilding back to I guess you still have the goals to win these major competitions. You want to be the winner of the Arnolds, win major titles, world's strongest man. Is that still the goal?
Yeah, it's still my goal. My first goal is Arnold Classic, because exactly 2014, 10 years ago, I won Arnold Amateur, and the next year I got invitation to professional, and no one believed for me, because I compete against Haftor, Brian Zdrunas. Zdrunas was best shape in his life, and I finished at 3rd place this competition, 2015, and I said in this day, one day I have to win this competition, and this is my goal. I try still keeping this, but I have a lot of problems in my life with my health, but now maybe I am on a good way to doing this. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, but I must do this.
Well, you're always a threat at these competitions. I think, were you only 21 at your first Arnold's?
21 professional, yeah. First.
Wow. Because I think like people forget how young you still are. You're still not, you're still young enough to be a major contender in this sport. You've been around for so long, and you've won a lot of big titles. You just haven't been able to win the major titles yet. And everyone says you're probably the strongest guy that's never won World's Strongest Man. Do you feel pressure when people say that, or do you like it?
Yeah, sometimes I feel this pressure, but I can't hear this a lot of, because if I can damage my mind also, also because you compete and in your life.
No, of course it is hard, and I like we're pretty good friends, and I know what people will watch you and think this guy's incredible. There's never going to be a day in his life where he's nervous. But I know you as a person, you get very nervous before your competition. And I think it's sometimes I don't know if you feel the same. It can feel like a bit of a weakness, but I don't think it is a weakness, because it shows the normal person that, all right, you're one of the best strongmen on the planet, but you're still human, and you do get nervous, you worry about things, you have anxiety. We all do as people, and I think it's good for people watching that they see, Mateusz Kieliszkowski, this man that can do these incredible things, but there's still that human side to you as well. And I think it's great. I mean, I know Rauno's. You've messaged Rauno during a competition asking him what you should do, and he finds that funny, because he's like, this is like one of the best strongmen on the planet. Why is he asking me what to do? But it's a nice side of you, I think. It's why a lot of people, I think, like you. You're just a down-to-earth guy, but when you compete, you're like this crazy animal that believes he can do anything. It's cool to watch. But I'm certainly excited to see you competing, and I know my wife loves watching you compete, and lots of the fans do as well. I hope it's a really good year. Let's talk about the competitions coming up. Obviously, the first one the Arnold Strongman Classic, huge competition, potentially the second biggest competition, in the world. For some people, this is the biggest one. Some of the athletes put this above World's Strongest Man. What are you thinking of the events this year?
Yeah, this year events are really interesting for everyone, I think. But lineup is more interesting because we have a lot of strong athletes. Maybe not. We have Haftor, again, but maybe it will be not same Haftor like before. Not yet, of course, not yet, because he need time to return to full power. But we have Michel Hooper, Martin Slicis, Novikov, Evan Singleton. He deserves all time to compete there because he's crazy strong athlete. And we have totally big mix event. I remember 2020. I compete against Haftor and Martins, and me and Haftor just fight, and Martins was 10 points behind us, And I think this year will be much different because we will fight each other.
I think you're right. It's such a hard competition to pick out who will win. I think one mistake could cost someone.
One
massively.
mistake and a lot of points. Yeah,
and you mentioned names there. You didn't even mention Tom Stoltman. And Tom is looking in great shape. And then, I know your fellow Polish and Oscar, he's looking really strong. Thomas Evans is getting better all the time. It's just a ridiculously stacked competition. And then I don't see anyone having lots of favorite events. You obviously, we'll talk about the deadlift and we'll ask you how that's going. But you're normally... We look at competition, you think Mateusz is amazing at the stone to shoulder, for instance. You're really incredible at the frame carry, but you have that one weakness being the deadlift. There's athletes like, I'd say, Mitch Hooper and Martin Slicis, who maybe they're not amazing at anything, but they don't have any weaknesses. They consistently score big points. But then you've got someone like Bobby Thompson, who he can come and do really well on 2 of the events and mess that up for some of the other guys. And Thor, we don't know what kind of shape Thor's in. Tom Stoltman has incredible events. This is such a difficult competition to predict, and I think it's going to be a fun one as a fan. It's going to be tough as an athlete.
Yeah, I think same. For example, last year, only me, Kevin Ferris, and Hooper finished at frame, but this year I think maybe 6-7 athletes can do this.
Yeah, if you look at some of the new athletes coming in, Martin Slicis is back, Thor's back. Both of them have finished it before.
Yeah.
Even Maxime's finished it before, I think, as well.
Yeah, Maxime before, yeah.
So, there's 6 guys that have finished it already. Evan Singleton as well. Evan's really good at those type of events.
Really fun.
Would you like to break your record? And do you think you're in shape to break it?
Of course, I would like to do this. It will be hard, because 7 seconds was really top level. Yeah, I should be slower 2 years ago, and now can be. But I will try to make the best in this event, of course.
Yeah. Well, that, you're the record holder in. Also, the stone to shoulder, you're incredible at. Why are you so good at that event?
But this year we will have 2 stones before. It's much different.
Yeah.
But still we don't know. Because few years ago when we tried this without 2 stones before, a lot of athletes struggle to lift this, and now you lose maybe 10% energy for 2 stones. go to heaviest.
Well, let's explain how good you are at this. You said last year there was no stones before. This year you've got to do the stone over the hitching post, and you've got to press a stone, I believe, and then you come onto the tombstone to the shoulder. And guys how many did Hafthor do? 2 or 1?
What the time?
No, how many reps did he do to the shoulder, Hafthor?
Hafthor?
Yeah, I think he did 1 or 2 reps.
I think 2 or 1. I don't remember.
Most of the field couldn't do it, and then you step up and do 5.
I did 4. I did 4 time, and next year I did 5. Yeah.
So no one's come close to that. Why are you so good at these type of events? What do you think it is about you that makes you?
The biggest key is the try the similar equipment. I live in a small village. We have forest everywhere, fields, and I know a lot of farmers and talk with them to find stones, natural stones. I send pictures, what I want, or what I need, and they try help me find something, and I bring a lot of in my gym, and we practice, because size and different, like I said, measurements, stones, it's every stone is much different,
I've seen the videos of you kind of shouldering some even heavier than the tombstone, right? You've got stones that are heavier. Do you think the guys that are just training with Atlas stones will struggle if they haven't used some of these awkward natural stones?
Atlas stones is rolling on your body. It's easier, much easier. I think if I have 220 normal Atlas stone, I can put on my shoulder. But if you have some different, stone, I don't know what to say in English this word.
No, I understand.
It's really hard to roll on your body.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch. I think just, you've done so many events like in the Rogue Invitational, just that pull you did on that, I say a truck pull, but the bull pull. You were the only one to finish that, and then everyone's kind of.
Also before this 2 months before this competition, I did my training, and we trained like a schedule without rope, and I pull slit on ground, and I torn a little bit my fascia on my feet, and I blew, was blood there, and before this event in Rogue, I had really big pain there.
Yeah.
And when I started pull, my first thinking was don't damage my feet, but I finished it. It was, I had to fight with weight, fight with pull, and fight with my mind also. It was much harder.
Also, a lot of people won't know as well about the Rogue. You missed your first flight. So you had a nightmare journey coming to Texas.
We arrived to hotel at 2 a.m. or 2 a.m. I think, and I have to wake up at 7 morning to breakfast, and we go to competition. Now, it was. Bear in mind,
everyone else had arrived 2 days earlier. And Mateusz and his wife had the worst journey, ended up missing flights, being stuck in airports, and arrived just like in the morning of the competition. And you still put in a fantastic performance. So hopefully travel to America this time will be better, smoother, and you're fresh and ready for the Arnolds.
Yeah, but it was horrible, in the last trip from New York to Chicago to Texas. I was not angry. I wanted to cry, because I was destroyed, because my body, how body feeling, in airplane, if you travel, sit a lot of hours, I have cramp everywhere, pain my muscles, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's not nice, and these are things that people don't realize as well. Athletes go through we all do. We all go through life. You might have an argument with your partner. You might have a terrible flight. You might lose your luggage, but you've still got to turn up and try as hard as you can when it comes to the competition.
Yeah, of course, because I prepare a lot of months for this. I don't want to lose this competition.
Sure. So we'll go back to the Arnolds because that's the first competition. You've got 4 really good events. There is the deadlift. How has training been going for the deadlift? Because this is an event that we always talk about. It probably pisses you off that people talk about it, but it's potentially cost you a lot of competitions. How's your deadlift going right now? How's
I could win World Strongest Man and Arnold, I think, many times if I have maybe 25-30 kilo more stronger deadlift. Yeah, I try do my best now. I found this big problem in my body because after a lot of problem, like my latter, I have scatia, how say, in my back.
Sciatica.
I had this also last year, and it was hard to live because my pelvis and my hips was, how say, twisted.
Yes, yeah.
And I couldn't find good position in deadlift. When I pull, I think I feel like something, it's not same.
Doesn't feel balanced.
Balance, and now I try to fix this and slowly improve. It's much better. Of course, I will not win deadlift, and if I pull 400 kilo, I will be really, really happy. But it's still nothing against the rest athletes,
400 though is much better on that for you than you've been doing. Like last year was not good on the deadlift.
Yeah, but last year I had knees problem. I couldn't do squat, nothing, and I had also scatia problem in my back, It was 2 times harder level than normal.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've pulled 420 kilos before, right? Is your best?
Yeah, but in suit.
Okay, yeah. Obviously at the Arnolds, no suits allowed. But 420 is a good deadlift. And it must be hard when people...
And I had 430 or 440 under knees.
Yeah. So if you can get back to that kind of level and you bring everything else up, that's when you become super dangerous again. Because
I hope.
You don't need to win the deadlift. No one expects you to go and win the deadlift, especially with the likes of Thor, Tom Stoltman, Bobby Thompson. They're all big deadlifters. But if you can get points on the deadlift, that's when you become dangerous.
Yeah, I think maybe it's not too late because, for example, Luke Stoltman, he was also he was weak before. Maybe before 40 I will be stronger. So 10 years.
And you still got plenty of time. You're still a baby.
10 years.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm really excited that you're coming to the UK for a number of shows this year. Obviously, the Arnold UK is 2 weeks after the Arnold's Ohio. But you're also doing Europe's Strongest Man. When was that? Have you competed in Europe's before?
Yeah, I was.
I remember.
Yeah, and you win one time when I was competing first time.
That was your first time. You came up and asked me for a photo, and I was like, "This kid's amazing. Why is he asking me for a photo?" I do remember, but it's not a title you've won, so you must be you must want to be hungry to win it.
I want to return to Giants Life because in Giants Life, it's coming a lot of Polish people, and I really miss these competitions because I like this climate, crowd, it's special. It's really special competition, and I really, really want to return there because I miss this.
That's so good to hear. I know you're going to get a massive reaction from the crowd when you come out to a Giants Life, and I can promise you the shows now are even bigger than when you were competing in them. There's more people coming. You do get a lot of Polish fans, and there's so many people that want to see you competing in the UK. So we'll be excited to see that. And I think the events are good for you, Europe's.
Yeah, not bad, but I have to focus about Arnolds, and then I will have 1 month for maybe a little bit prepare to Europe because now I'm doing everything for 3 competitions, and maybe 1 month before I will focus only about Europe.
The problem is then it's non-stop. Once you start competing, you'll go to Europe, then it'll be like you'll get invited to World's Strongest Man, and then it's kind of there's something else. But I know it's important to focus on one competition at a time. I just the fan in me is just looking forward to seeing you compete regularly this year. Because
also this year I want to compete in Show Classic. Brian invites me every year, but every time I was some problem in my health is after injury, for example, or during injury, and it was not my level, because Show Classic is really hard competition. Yeah. There are big weights and a lot of heavy stuff. But this year I talked with Brian, I'm 100% must go in there.
You really seem in a good place, and you look like you're enjoying Strongman right now. You seem, positive. You seem happy. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, now I'm enjoying. I try don't push in myself, a lot of. I try now. I'm more calm than before.
Good.
Because I lost a lot of time sitting at home, and fix my body. Now I try to be happy from every moment.
Good. That's nice. I think it will help you. I really do.
I hope.
Because you have all the talent in the world. I mean, sometimes I don't know if you find this, but some of the new guys that have just seen you for the last few years, they don't know how good you are when you're at your best. So it's nice to sort of just see you back and get to that point where you can show them, I'm pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah, I hope I will return from this level. I don't want to be stronger. I need something like that 2020, 2019. If I return from this level, it will be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just the fact that you're getting back in shape, we got Lysis back this year, Thor coming back, all these new guys that are getting better. I don't feel like the top guy is any better than we've had in the past. Like, we've had some incredible, great strongman, Brian, Thor, Zadrunas, all incredible strongmen. But right now there's so many good strongmen, which makes, you just can't pick who's going to win these competitions.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
Right. I want to ask you a random question, because I know, like, you don't do a lot of interviews and stuff. You've started to post some stuff on YouTube. I kind of try and watch some of your videos when you post them. They're always good, but you don't post a huge amount. So I wanted to ask you, if you could only do 5 exercises if in the gym, what 5 exercises would be your main choice for strongman? So just gym lifts, not like strongman events, but just in the gym, 5 exercises, most important.
Squat is first.
Yep.
Deadlift, overhead, on standing position, of course.
Yep.
Some heavy rowing on back.
Yep.
And maybe do some last is maybe not less important, not important, like some bench press, for example. But I think squat is the most important. One time in past, because I inspired a lot from Zadrunas Stevickas before, and still because he's got the best athletes in the world all the time. And he told me one time after competition, we sit in the dinner, something about this exercise, and he said, if you will doing squat, you will do good in every event, because squat is most important.
That's interesting.
And I remember these words until today.
He's a good person to listen to. But I asked for 5 from you. You pretty much just give us 4 and then chuck in bench press, and then you're saying really you just need to squat. So if anyone's out there training and they want to get into strongman, get yourself squatting, because a lot of strongmen don't squat, which is I always find it weird, because I loved squatting, and I found you think about strongman, having strong legs is important, really important. Yeah, I don't think squatting for 1 rep max is so important for strongman, but repetition.
Yeah, because we have repetition usually. Yeah, one time was Arnold in Columbus 2 years ago. 1 year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah,
2 years ago. Yeah,
was one rep max, but usually we have for repetition.
Yeah, or even just having.
I think it's better for us, because we are not powerlifters. Yeah. We are not preparing for 1 squat. So for us, better is do less weight and do for reps and for condition.
So there you go, guys. If you can only get 5 exercises, Mateusz has said squat, deadlift, overhead press, some kind of bent over row, and if you really have to, bench press.
Or some bicep score.
What's your best on those exercises? And what's your best squat you've ever done?
Before, because when I prepared to Arnold in the squat, I did 370 with pause. I do really deep and do 370. And in World Strongest Man, I did 340. 2019 was 340. I don't remember. 347 reps, I think.
Yeah. It's not bad at all. What about overhead press? What's your best overhead?
No, it was 214 log, but 210 was on the bar.
Yeah, your best log press in competition is 214. Is that correct?
214. But when I did this, I win from the groups, and I was the strongest, and they give me 220 and ask, do you want to try? Maybe. And I said, okay, maybe I try, but it was not pressure for me,
Yeah.
No, I just go and try. And I had something like really, really good position, but, I didn't focus.
Do you find your overhead pressing is coming back now? Is it getting close to where it was?
Not yet.
Okay. So I was just thinking, because we've got the axle at Arnold's. How are you feeling for that? I forgot to ask you earlier.
For me, the biggest problem is the put here on the chest, from floor, because I don't have stomach and and fat, and if I put my belt and still I must fight to sometimes I need four rest for time.
Yeah.
To put on the chest. If I put on the chest, I can press 180 easy. But the biggest problem for me is the clean.
Yeah, I think for most people on the axle, the clean is the hard part. But like you say, you're a slimmer athlete, so it's a little bit
but
harder.
when I'm watching a lot of athletes from now compete, they have some extra, skin here because fat, a little bit, and they put there and jump from here to chest. It's much better,
I think you at one point you were trying to get quite a bit bigger. I think I've seen you. Was it when we went to Rauno's birthday? You were pretty big then.
No, I was smaller because I was straight after surgery. 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks before I had last surgery and I was off season. Now I'm 150 kilo. Before World Strongest Man, I had 160 last year.
I remember seeing you at 160.
But there was a lot of water inside my body because I take a lot of painkiller tablets, inflammation tablets, and a lot of water stop on my body. I had big blood pressure, everything really, really bad. And now I'm clean 150 and I don't want more. I don't need more and I feel good now with this body weight. And
I think you find that weight that's right for you, because we can look at other guys and say like Hafthor's 190 kilos right now. But if you or me go to 190 kilos, we're just going to be a blob. So it's, I think you're still very athletic at 150 kilos. Maybe someone short is going to be really struggling at 150 kilos. You've got to find the right weight for having the power and the athleticism as well in strongman. But I'm looking forward to seeing you good. You sound really positive. You sound like you're in a good place. I hope you get a really good, easy flight to Ohio. And we see you at your best, or certainly you said you're at 80%. Let's get you to 90% before the Arnolds at least.
Maybe I think we'll see what happens. We have still 4 weeks to prepare. 4 weeks for training, of course. 3 for maximum, and 1 week will be really deload for me.
Yeah.
And we'll see what can happen.
Very quickly,
everything can happen. Nothing will surprise me from my past, because sometimes 1 week before competition I got some problem and bye. So now I try be positive, do what I want, do what I must do, and prepare and do the best. If I coming to Ohio in my body,
fingers crossed that everything is good.
And I give 100%.
We can't wait to see it. Just before we go, tell us what's like a normal training week like for you. Do you have like structure to your training week? So like Monday you train pressing, for instance, or does it change, or are you very focused on what you should be doing with each session?
No, I try train every second day. you know, and sometimes in Monday we have deadlift, sometimes in Monday we have overheads. And also at the weekend, so for usually Saturday, we're doing strongman events because my friends is coming, and you know, prepare to set up everything for strongman cost a lot of time and energy, you know. Yeah. And in the weekend, my friends come to my gym and help for me a lot to prepare, you know, equipment, and I just, you know, drink water and lifting rest, and they prepare for me everything because, you know, they don't want to lose energy from me.
That's really good. It's nice to have people like that will kind of, because yeah, like you say, setting up events is brutal. If you've got to do that on your own, that's going to kill you before you even do the events.
Yeah. You know, sometimes, you know, if we're doing, for example, frame, and my empty frame is for 130 kilo. Yeah. So we still have to bring over almost 400 kilo, you know, and 400 in plates, lifting, you know, for me it's cardio, you know, and I can be tired after this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really glad that training is going well, Mateusz. It's good to see you looking positive and happy. We can't wait to see you competing at the Arnolds. And then I know lots of the English fans can't wait to see you come in for the UK Arnolds and back at Europe's Strongest Man for April, I think Europe's Strongest Man is. So lots of chances. Yeah, lots of chances for people to see Mateusz. Good luck at the Arnolds, buddy. We will see you there. Thank you very much for coming on. Everybody, make sure you go and support Mateusz Kieliszkowski.
Thank you.